So what are the other soft skills that you can tell between someone who's actually rich and someone who's faking it or trying to be rich, or maybe has some money, but they're trying to show it off too much?
Mm-hmm. So I would say that people who want to look rich brag about things. Look at my new bag, look at my new car. Really rich people, they don't brag, they talk about experiences that they have. So this is another experience, and like one that I frankly couldn't really relate to when I first started in my career because I didn't come from that kind of money. But when it was around vacation season and people were talking about going to Italy.
And the yachts and the...
Not even the yachts, but everybody had a restaurant in Capri that you had to try.
Wow.
Everyone had their favorite place for gelato, in Venice, whatever it was. You could tell that person had lived life in a way that someone who doesn't have that kind of access, who doesn't have that kind of money, doesn't have, because they can't take the time off. They don't have the money to go to those places. And even if they did, they would be doing things on the path versus stuff off the beaten path that lets them live like a local.
What would you say are a few practical things if people are like, I'm just I don't have money for the next few months. I don't have an emergency fund. I've got debts I'm still paying off. If someone is financially sick and unwell and their financial health is unstable, what are a few strategies they can do to either increase their income or get back to financial wholeness?
Mm-hmm. I would say something that people struggle with realizing is that these changes you'll have to make, they're not permanent. They're only temporary.
Yes.
And you are going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be fun. And I am very anti, cut out the avocado toast, don't buy the coffee, rah. Okay, I am.
Yeah.
But if you are in truly a dark hole and there's no ladder to crawl out.
Cut it out.
Like you literally have to cut it out.
Yes.
You have to make some temporary changes that are very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And to your point, like we focus so much on cutting out every single little discretionary cost. Do you know how hard it is to cut out $5,000 worth of expenses? Do you know how easy it is to ask for a $5,000 raise? A $5,000 raise happens every single day. Like that is par for the course. That's not anything special. Cutting out $5,000, do you know how many coffees you have to cut out? You know how many meals you can't go out to? Do you know how many friends you might lose in that process? So again, I think it's really, really important to be asking for that raise. And I mean 10, 15% every single year. Are you going to get it every year? Probably not. But you get 7%, great. You get 8%, great. You got to ask.
Yeah.
And you got to remind them pretty much for 6 months out of the year that you deserve that raise and that you want money, that you are money motivated. Because if you ask in December when everybody else is asking for money,
right,
you're at the back of the list, back of the line.
Yeah.
You want to be on top of the pile when your boss starts thinking about who's getting a raise this year.
What can someone do who's an employee to be really smart and intentional about getting a raise?
Yeah.
How can they show their value, their work ethic, that they're getting the results that's going to increase revenue in the business, as opposed to just saying, give me a 20% raise or a 10% raise because I deserve it?
Yeah.
How do they enroll through actual results as opposed to, I just want a raise.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Otherwise, I'm not happy.
Yeah. So you remember those two guys on Wall Street? You got the executioners and then you got the knife and fork guys.
Yeah.
So on the execution side, make yourself a brag book. So it's a literal folder.
A brag book.
A brag book, raise receipts,
like
promo
that.
pitch, whatever you want to call it.
Just
make one. It's a folder in your email. And every time something good happens to you, every time you get a pat on the back from another team member from your company, forward it to that folder. A client says, wow, you did such a great job, whatever, put it in that folder. Anything that good that happens to you, put in that folder. Because that way, when you go and you have to write those really annoying self-assessments, you can go back and literally look through those emails and be like, oh, remember that time I did that one thing and that thing and that thing? And now you have quantifiable results that you can point to. The second piece is the knife and fork piece. There's a study, and it shows that the smartest person is not the one that gets paid the most.
right.
They're like second most paid, second or third most paid. Yeah. Being smart and being the best employee gets you to a certain point. But the person that is paid the most is the person that is essentially Mr. or Mrs. Congeniality. You need to be liked. You need, and not so much like you have to be agreeable and likable, but like people have to think of you. Like,
you gotta be top of mind.
You gotta be top of mind. And you have to be, unfortunately, popular around the office. So that happens by not skipping the company happy hour. That happens by joining your stupid rec pickleball league with your boss. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
You have to do those things if you really want that. And I know people listening to this might think like, well, I have kids. I can't do the pickleball league. I can't go to the happy hour. Okay. Ask your boss to go to lunch once every 3 weeks. Make that time. Force that time. Do the water cooler thing. Because it might cause you 15 minutes. It might cost you 15 minutes of your day, and it might cost you that 15 minutes of productivity. I guarantee you, nobody is going to miss that 15 minutes of your work product, but they'll remember when you told that funny joke. They'll remember that story you told about, the one, funny thing that happened that weekend, because that is how people remember you.
Yeah.
It's not about like, oh, do you remember who closed that amazing deal last quarter? Nobody says that.
Right. What I think about is like, who is able to show up with just consistent, good attitude, energy, and effort consistently? Who creates the least amount of stress?
Yes.
That I don't want to think about the challenges and the stress that is being brought to the team or to myself, but that you're just consistent. Not that you can't have a challenging day or bad stuff happens, but just overall, you got pretty good attitude.
Yeah.
Pretty good energy. You're willing to show up and work hard consistently. It's like, all right, cool. You're going to get rewarded.
Yeah. And
but go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's also like doing an elevator test or an airport test when you're looking at a resume. How many times has someone asked you about your past job experience in detail? Frankly, not that many times. You know what everybody beelines to on my resume?
What's that?
They look at the very bottom and they're like interests, activities. And they're like, oh, that's weird. I see you were literally, that's weird. You were a cheerleader in college? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, why? Don't I seem so fun and bubbly? And like, it's the same day that I'm wearing like all black and I look so like depressed. Or they'll look at the bottom of my resume and they're like, interests, mob movies. What's your favorite one? And I'm like, Goodfellas, obviously. And then we get into a 20-minute debate and I waste 20 minutes on our interview. But you only now have 10 minutes to ask me technical questions. And if I ace those 10 minutes of questions instead of 30 minutes, I now look like a genius because every question you asked me, I got right. And then even better, like the fact that you and I now have something in common, because you know that Goodfellas is my favorite movie. I know that The Godfather is your favorite movie. So now we're friends.
Yeah, you're more likable.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more inspiring clips like this, make sure to click right here to subscribe and click right here to watch that next video that is specific to support you in your life.